Hello. We are back. Let's pump it. What's going on, everybody? Terry T, good to see ya. Dusty Mary, hello, hello. Ravens, what's going on? I'm gonna let some people get in here. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying to think, how do I want to do this for you guys? Because I do want to talk bigly. Shout out Dan, by the way. Go sub to Dan. If you guys aren't subbed to Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles. Let me drop the link. Dan he is beyond the man. One of the nicest people that you could possibly meet. He dropped that comment very first, as soon as the video went up. I'm gonna walk through the whole weekend at Card Party and give you guys some answers real quick. Can we do ! Central in the chat? This is Central's music. He just put out a new album on Thursday, and I was bumping it in the hotel room all weekend. Go follow Central on Spotify. Play his new album. It's called Constellation. His song is Trombones and Tombstones. It is a bop. I'm not gassing the man up just because I met him in person. Absolute blast this weekend. I'm going to go through some of the cards that I got this weekend while we wait for some people to come in, because I want to be able to do a once through of what the entire weekend was, and I know it's going to take more than 10 minutes. So I'm going to show some of the cards that I got, and I'll talk to you guys kind of about what I'm up to with said cards. Dusty wants to know if I have any pictures of the show. I am the worst guys, I should not be on YouTube. I'm the worst at taking photos. I'm the worst at making content and doing videos and all that stuff. I'm like very much like, I don't take my phone out at concerts. I take like a picture of a landscape and that's it. I think McWizard and I took one photo together the whole weekend. Like literally, I think we took one photo together the whole weekend. It wasn't even at the convention. McWizard, he's taking photos with everybody. He got photos with Beard Dad. He got photo with everybody. I do not take photos. I just don't think. I was on a lot of streams. I'm probably going to be in a lot of videos. The net summation of the whole weekend, McWizard and I kind of like goobered around and just like bugged famous people. Like we were just like annoying. Like I think I could be like 40% of Jar Chomp's content for no reason other than I was just hanging out at his table the whole weekend being annoying. That's kind of where it's going to be at. Not that much chat on the screen, but I'm just going to show some stuff. So the main thing, guys, I got to be honest. All of these slabs that I went and got are all going to be card lot slabs. Like the whole reason that I got slabs was card lot slabs, except for one slab, and I'll get into that. I don't have it anymore, which is a good thing, but I grabbed some fun stuff. There's maybe one or two personal collection items in here, but Glaceon GX from Hidden Fates. Beautiful card. Got that one, I believe, from Jar Chomp. I could be wrong. Hidden Fates. Shiny Charmander. I actually don't think I got that one from Jar Chomp. I think I got that. There was a couple of tables there that I hung out at for a while. Charmander. PSA 10 from Hidden Fates. Baby Shiny Charmander. Great card. And I just got a whole bunch of stuff. This I got from Jar Chomp. Maybe I got the Glaceon from Jar Chomp, but Dark Golbat, Team Rocket, Unlimited, PSA 9. Got a little Phoebus. Ugly Fish, PSA 10. Here's some fun stuff. Bubble Mew, Japanese from Shiny Treasure in a PSA 10 as well. This is like an $800 card. I don't know how I ended up with that. Look at this. A 2-cert Nidoking. This must have been graded back in 2020. 2-cert Nidoking PSA 9. Some vintage. We got a Jirachi. I think I actually got this from McWizard. I don't know how that worked. So I'm just going to I'll keep showing off some of these. But if you guys have any questions about anything, I'm obviously going to talk through stuff that happened this weekend. So just give me some time there. I'll get into it. But I kind of want to talk through and show off some of the cards while we got some people filtering in. Trainer Gallery Umbreon VMAX from Brilliant Stars in a PSA 10. We've got the Mimikyu from the Paldean Fates ETB in a PSA 10. That ETB is like over $200 now. So, you know, some more cool stuff. Terrestrial Festival, Umbreon, Japanese, PSA 10. This card looks so much better in Japanese than English. Sorry about it. Eevee, Armchair Eevee, PSA 10. I bought a bunch of fun stuff. This is a giveaway item, actually. E-Reader, Mr. Vibe. This was given to me by Central for the 1,000 sub giveaway stream, so that's gonna go there. PSA 8 of the Pikachus from the Radiant collection. It's an 8, but it's still like $100 card anyway. From 2016 XY full art, the Pikachus. That's a fun one. That'll be in a lot. That's mine. Blastoise PSA 1 from Delta Species. And then this is the promo, Pikachu promo Level X from 2009. You can't find these cards raw anymore. I did find one raw. This was a PSA 1. And PSA 1s were kind of the theme of the weekend, which I really didn't want them to be. So that's why I don't have the card that I had at one point. I did have a PSA 1 Gold Star Charizard. It's like it was stickered at 2,600. It was comped at like 2,300, and I bought it for $2,000. And then I was like, why did I get this card? I will have a picture of that. This is the Gold Star Zard. PSA 1. It was stickered at $2,600. PSA 1. Gold Star Zard. Very hard to find. It was pretty beat up. Obviously, it's a 1. I got it, and then like an hour and a half later, I was like, I don't want this. And so I had to like spend the rest of the weekend figuring out the right way to get rid of it. Which is why I ended up with a whole bunch of slabs, because I basically just traded it after paying cash. I'll show you guys a bunch of other cards that I got to grade. Lugia V-Star, Pikachu from 151. I got a few other like random things here that are mine. That one I will show later. Got a few of the Kingdra promos from Shrouded Fables. And I just got like a ton of cards, and I'll talk about, I'll just kind of show some stuff, but I'll talk about why I got some of the cards that I got, and I'm going to talk about why I didn't get that much sealed. McWizard and I also ripped a lot. We sat in the hotel on the final night. Both of us were exhausted. We couldn't sleep. So we just got a booster box of Mega Evolutions out and ripped it. Just got a lot of stuff. I don't know. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw this. It's not a $250 card. That was just the one that I had the sticker for. But I got a lot of cards. And I'll kind of talk about why I got cards as opposed to packs. And what my plan is. That's pretty much everything I got. I got a lot of Pokemon Center, like stamped promo ones here. Some more Mewtwo Vs. I got a Lily's Determination SAR as well. Hey, one thing I will show off here, I'll show it off again, but this is a promo. It's like the promo rare. So there's no like actual like technical rarity on this, but it is the Phoenix, is the baby artwork from MetaZoo. This is a promo card you can only get in the year 2025 if you go to conventions, or if you know someone like me. So MetaZoo was really fun. I will talk about that. But let's get into the recap here. I don't know how many viewers we're gonna have here that are gonna show up, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about what specifically we did the whole weekend. Central, bro. Yeah, we were being absolute goons. So yeah, real quick run through. Friday we got in, went straight to the hotel, and it was like, let's go over to the convention center. We were staying at the convention hotel, so they have like a rate hotel that you could stay at. It's right next to the convention center, and it's, you know, you get a specialty rate or whatever. More of the reason is it's convenience, and everyone knows to go there. It's literally on the schedule, like hang out in the lobby of the hotel. Friday we go, straight over to the convention center after dropping all of our stuff off. I didn't bring any of my... I didn't bring a backpack. I didn't bring my briefcase thing. We just went over and got in line for what we thought was like, oh, we're in the room right next to where you get your passes. We had 3-day passes. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're in another room, and then we're in a hallway, and then we're in another hallway, and it was like a 45-minute line right when the ticketing opened to get our passes that we already paid for in advance. So it was busy on the first day, which was like a really cool thing to see. And once we got our stuff, we were like, all right, let's just go in and see what the deal is. I didn't know who all was going to be there. There's some Discords that I'm in that are like kind of Patreon membership stuff for Pokemon business things. Some of the guys were going to be over there. I didn't know when or where. So I was like, maybe I'll just bump into some people. Let's go walk around. And so went over to see Jake and Trey with Jar Chomp Collectibles. If you guys don't know Jar Chomp, look him up. He's got great vendor POV content. He's got podcasts that are like 3.5 hours long, and I love listening to every single minute of them. Hung out with him a whole bunch. Just basically posted up at his table a lot throughout the weekend. Picking his brain on different things, making him play guessing games with like what I paid for something, what he would sell it for. Kind of just getting a feel for like that kind of stuff, but also, I don't know, we bought some booster boxes and sat and ripped at his table and did some pack battles. Shout out Central. Central on Saturday had us do a pack battle of Hidden Fates that I won with Jar Chomp. So a lot of fun. But yeah, Friday we just kind of like walked around and we were like in the area. We are like, this is pretty big. There's a lot going on, and there weren't that many people in there because it was so big. So it didn't feel crowded. Like a lot of the shows we go to here in Phoenix, they feel crowded because they're not, its popularity has just taken off recently. All of a sudden, it's like a huge space. So, even though it was huge, it didn't feel too crowded Friday. So we walked around, and the vendors were only open for like 3.5 hours or so. And we did the whole thing. Like, we walked everywhere, and then we were like, that's when Dusty was posting. I think Beard Dad was streaming, and we ended up in the background of his stream, which it was kind of crazy because when we walked by, I think he had just kind of like set up wherever on Friday. And so it was just like us and then like 3 kids. And McWizard kind of did his thing, got some signed cards, bought some stuff, hung out with him. Took a picture maybe. And then I was just in the background trolling around, staring at the camera. And the next time that we saw him, it was like the busiest person in the entire place was Beard Dad. And I guess Coop was vending with him at one point, but like, I didn't know. People had talked about Beard Dad. I just never got any of his content, so I had never seen. And that's the way it is. I mean, Pokemon is niche, and it's big, and it's vast. And so it's like, you might not know about somebody. That's just kind of the way that it is. So anyway, ran into him a few times, Beard Dad, throughout the weekend. He was like, at one point, he's, taking a kid around who is obviously a kid struggling, not doing that well. Didn't know what the whole situation was, but pack battling different vendors, getting, free cards and signatures and all that kind of stuff. And Avery. And it was just like a mix of that across the whole weekend. There were a lot of people who were there to vend. There were a lot of people who were there to do content. There were a lot of people there to do both. And I think that's what's really cool about Card Party in general. Like, if I had to do one banner thing on it, Card Party, people doing everything across the board, right? Like, you're not just there to vend, and you're not just there to get, like, signatures of people or take a photo. Like, there was all kinds of Pokemon stuff going on. Tag was running a Who's That Pokemon contest where whoever got the most right across the whole weekend at their booth. They had like a virtual screen. They had a screen set up and all this stuff, and it was just crazy. We watched a kid get like 57 right in a row, and I didn't know half the Pokemon that they were throwing up there. I was like, this is bananas. And this kid was nailing them. I think someone got 140, and that was like the winner across the whole weekend. that was crazy. So Friday, we're bouncing around. We go over to the MetaZoo booth, and met one of the artists who does the cards. She was very nice. Talked with her a little bit about it. She, they had like a wheel spin where it was like spin the wheel and, see what you get, whether it was going to be a pack or if it was going to be like a promo card or whatever it was. She hooked us up with a couple of the promo cards. They had Sheep Squatch was the promo card. So I brought some of those back. So I will be doing either giveaways with those or I'll be adding them in. Guys, I'm seeing orders come through. Just a reminder, I'm not ripping tonight, just so you know. But the queue is going to grow. So get ready for tomorrow's stream. If you got to throw an order in, and you're going to bed early tomorrow night, you might want to do it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, Friday, Saturday, maybe even another day in there. I might swap one of the days, but, just so we're clear on the MetaZoo stuff, I have a lot of goodies for you guys, so don't let me forget to talk about that. But that was kind of Friday. We just went around. I bought a few things here and there, talked about some stuff. Super excited about the direction MetaZoo's going. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I can post it in the Discord. I probably should have done that today, but on Saturday, we got like the leak of what the new name of the next set is going to be. So I'll post that in Discord. But we talked to, I'm going to bounce around, I guess. On Saturday, we talked to the CEO of MetaZoo. I did not know he was the CEO of MetaZoo until about halfway through the conversation, which is something. Let me see. So Secret Shadows, by the way, is the name of the next set. It's going to be like a Halloween set. It might actually be coming out pretty soon here. And then apparently there's going to be one more set, a specialty set maybe, before Christmas. That's what I would say. I don't know for sure. But yeah, got to talk with him. Did a little pack battle of MetaZoo on Saturday. I'll keep it on MetaZoo real quick. On Saturday, pack battle with Central and McWizard. The guy's really cool. And they have these like, where do I have this? They have these, and this is a really cool thing that MetaZoo does, but they do these convention packs. You guys can't see this. They have these convention booster boxes. And so they have like, this one has 50 packs in it. And so it's like a normal booster bundle style thing, but it has 50 convention packs. And what happens is inside each one of those 50 packs, you get, one pack will have 2 copies of the same card. There's 50 cards for the conventions for 2025. And if you get 20 of them, you can turn them in for a promo card that you can only get at conventions, and they give it to you. But if you get like 50, you can trade it in and you get like one of these, which is what I got. One of these. This is the Phoenix promo. And this was given to me by Rick, the CEO of MetaZoo, who I later found out used to work for Pokemon. So if you're curious about is MetaZoo in good hands, what's the deal? Rick, who is now the CEO of Newzoo, right? He used to work for Pokemon for like 20 years. Starting back in, I think 98. So I didn't get the whole deal, but I did talk with him a little bit about MetaZoo, and he was super nice. Everyone at the MetaZoo table was super nice, and it was really enjoyable. And so yeah, this card, this is mine forever. I will never do anything with this card other than keep it. But I got a bunch of the booster packs for you guys. And I think that if you're ever at a convention, a Collecticon, or anything where MetaZoo is, it's a really cool way to interact with other people that are doing MetaZoo is by being able to trade. Because if you get one of the packs, you get 2 of the same cards, but you have to trade one of the cards with somebody who has a card that you don't have, which is kind of their goal there. So it was awesome. It was really cool. Talking with a bunch of the MetaZoo people and being like, they were like, you know MetaZoo? And I was like, I know a little bit about MetaZoo. So we had a good time. Central brought his Kraken card that we pulled out of the first MetaZoo box ever on Zorner cards here. And they were stoked to see that, because some of them were like, we've never even pulled one of these. So very fun. And that was kind of Friday with the vendor stuff. We walked around, saw a few of the vendors. Big vendors are there. Some crazy stuff that some of these people have. Like insane. I mean, you go to a Front Row Card Show, it's insane. People, they're bringing figures of inventory that are disgusting. And there's a few places that are there that they had some $1 million sealed booster box cases of like Sky Ridge or Legendary Collection. There was a first edition Fossil booster box that they had there that's like a $600,000, $300,000 booster box, and they were just having them on display. So we walked around, we really took it all in Friday night, and I was doing my best, and if you guys saw a bunch of the stuff that I was showing on the individual cards earlier on, yeah, Dusty, I saw like 8 of the Chinese Mew promos. There were, and one of the tables had like a full spread of every first edition box. It's crazy to even think that this stuff exists. But I was looking for Mega Evolution. I was looking for gradable versions of these cards because I am like, I kind of want to make some plays through PSA on some of this Mega Evolution stuff. And it was hard to find. Now, usually, and this is like a tidbit for you guys, usually it'll take vendors a month or so before they start buying those cards, which is why it's really hard to get good prices on the newest cards at card shows if you're selling, because vendors do not want to take the risk that the card goes down after the first, 2-3 months of the set being out. But with Mega, the booster box price has only gone up since launch. I don't know if you guys have seen, but booster box prices have ticked up to the point where they're almost $10 a pack from a booster box, which is bananas. So I was interested in getting some singles. And just on the side note, this is all day Friday, all day Saturday, and Sunday looking for the singles here. They all have good card quality. There's no like little white specks or the corner notch or any of the normal stuff, but they're all tilted 4 degrees. The image is it's not like it's off center. It's not like it's heavy on one side. They're all tilted 4 degrees. It's very weird. Crazy. So, on the topic of Megas, just because Wavy's asking right now, are you getting any of the stamp pros? So I will have a bunch of those. I'm going to put the ones up on the shop that I'm interested in putting up on the shop. I am going to send a few off to grade. Not a ton, just because it's like there's only so much market if you're doing that. But I do want to put some up on the shop, and I'm still getting more of those in. So I will have the stamped Bulbas. I did trade a whole bunch away, though, this weekend as part of some deals that I've made. But yeah, I'm going to put those up probably tomorrow. I'll have those up on the shop before stream. So if you're interested in getting those, you could throw an order in on those. Yeah, on that note, guys, free shipping. Everything's the same as it was in September. It'll be like that for October here as well. I'm just going to ship out on Tuesdays as opposed to Mondays. Generally, because I'm not getting everything out until Monday afternoon anyway. So it's not getting really shipped until Tuesday by my local USPS. So I was like, let me give myself the extra day to get everything truly squared away. Mondays were pretty rushed for the last month. It'll be better if we do it on Tuesdays. It'll still get to you guys in the same amount of time anyway. And that way it's just an easier expectation. And yeah. So that was Friday at the show. McWizard and I go back. We're like, hey, let's go back to the room and change. It was kind of chilly by the time that we were going back to the room. And there was like a trade night going on. It was the intro party that was going on with the with Pat. Don't forget, it's card party. So Deep Pocket Monster is there. And they had, like 40 influencers or content creators, whatever you want to call them, that are in the what's it called? In these competitions. They were doing like a whole like Ruby versus Sapphire theme for the weekend. So they had like trivia games going on, and they were talking about what's going to happen for the whole weekend. And you know, that's the part of Card Party that's a little bit more like family oriented or like young collector oriented, I would say. Kids getting a bunch of freebies and whatnot. Just a lot of cool stuff like that going on, where we just gotta, you know, we went and hung out in the audience. But on the way over to the convention center, we got out of the lobby, or we went over there. We did that. We went to the trade night. It wasn't super busy. And we were like, all right, let's go back to the room. Central had gotten into Seattle, so let's go meet with Central. And as we're leaving the hotel to go meet with Central at a bar, we unfortunately, that's when we really like knew and secured, oh wow, not only are the Hollow Hunters not going to be here, but a lot of the people that were coming with their, you know, their group weren't also going to show up because the Hollow Hunters were sickly, and apparently they're still sickly, so unfortunate. Sorry to hear about that. That we missed them because they would have had a great time. But yeah, we really it would have been a blast if they were there, because they would have added to the non-Pokemon side of things, I think. As we're going to meet Central, though, I walk out of the elevator, and there's Dan from Catch 'em All Collectibles, and he's just sitting in the lobby, and I was like, oh, you know, time to go, you know, meet some people that I've talked to extensively but never met in person. And so Dan's there, hang out with Dan, have a nice backpack beer, nice IPA in the lobby of the hotel. Not the last beer that I would have in the lobby of the hotel. And bunch of other people start showing up. Ern Collects, I've plugged him a whole bunch. Follow Ern on YouTube as well. Gives just great advice. Someone who's been in the buy-sell trade, collect, vend, grade? Buy-sell, grade, collect, vend, trade. Whatever it is. He's got his 6-word catchphrase. He's just like an all-inclusive guy. He does it all, and he's not like he doesn't have a shop. He doesn't have like he's just a guy. But he's got a YouTube channel, and, you know, he works a real-life job, but he loves Pokemon, and he kind of does this stuff, I would say, in the shadows, but it's not really like that. He's just not he's not a storefront. And there were a lot of those people that I met this weekend. It was really cool to meet people who are like, they do this for a living, and you'd never know who they were. You'll never see them on a YouTube video of their own creation, kind of a thing. And he was like, look at all this, and just full spread of all the cards that he bought. He had like 3 or 4 of the gold cards from Mega Evolutions already. Go watch his most recent video that he put out, Ern Collects. He said he had a budget of $20,000 to spend on grading plays this weekend, and that's what he did. He left with, I think, like 7 of the golds and all this other stuff. And he was just going in on Mega, and I was like, dang, okay, I'm gonna shadow box that. I'm gonna trail him. I'm gonna get some plays when I can here and there, because I thought it also made sense. And so he, he's been doing it for a long time, so there's a reason he's able to do that kind of stuff. But it was awesome getting to talk with them. They had dinner plans. We were gonna go meet Central, so we talked for about half an hour, and then went and met up with Central. We went to a pie bar, and they wouldn't serve us because there wasn't enough room inside, so we're like, we'll come back later. Took off to a tiki bar where people were doing karaoke. There was some good karaoke. There was some really bad, really bad karaoke, and we hung out with Central there. Got to know each other for like an hour and a half. Had a few beveraginos. Did a pack battle. Just had a good time hanging out with Central, and then we were like, we got to get some beers for the lobby of the hotel, and we got some pie, grabbed some beers, and went back to the hotel and did our thing. That was about it. Got our pie, go back to the lobby, hung out with, there's a million people in the lobby all of a sudden, and I think that's one of the coolest parts about Card Party, was like everyone knew there was the convention, but there was also like okay, yeah, the convention's over, like, what are we doing? So, actual pie, yes, literal pie, which was the death knell for Friday. Tired, early flight, drinking, have a slice of pie. It's midnight. We got a full day tomorrow, and it was bedtime. Meant to meet up with Dan and a few of the other guys They were in the bar, we were in the lobby, didn't cross paths with some of the folks that I wanted to, and went up to the room and called it a night. Met up with Central early the next day, went on our way, and got into the convention and just went nuts for 9 hours. Not literally 9 hours of being at the convention. We did everything. That's when we did the long stay at the MetaZoo booth. That's when we did a whole bunch of trades. I did that Gold Star Zard, the PSA 1 play. Did a few other plays here and there, grabbed some stuff. Walked around looking for a few different things that I really wanted. Chatted with a whole bunch of vendors. Swan's Emporium, if you don't know. I think, is it just Swan's Emporium on YouTube? McWizard will know. But Derek Swan, another vendor, awesome guy. Hung out at his table a whole bunch. Talked with him. Had a good time. And bunch of vendors. Talked to a whole bunch of people, including some people. I'll just name drop. Who did we run into? Jodo Jake, good YouTuber, great content, very, very nice guy. Great talking to him. Who else did we? Cardinal Gaming. I mean, McWizard will drop some names in chat because he was like, hey, there's that person and that person. I was like, I don't know. You know him, I don't. And went to like literally like a million different tables. Like looked at so many cards. Got a box of EV Heroes at a really good price. Mary wanted me to get one, so I got her a box of EV Heroes. Got a few boxes of VMAX Climax, which I had not been able to find anywhere for a good price. So that was fun. And that was Saturday. Like I really like I could get into details on Saturday, but I just did my thing. Like McWizard will tell you, like I was full on zombie mode. Like I was just crawling from table to table. That's the way it goes. You lose each other. You end up at another table. You find your friends again by accident. You're asking about a card. The person is like, oh, I don't know. This isn't my table. Okay, see you later. On to the next table. Scanning like 1,000 cards an hour, just trying to figure out exactly the plays you want to make. Pointing out some expensive cards, having fun doing that. And, you know, McWizard's making deals. Central is looking for some very specific stuff. And the three of us just kind of like, you know, we were goobers and just bummed around the whole time. Crystal was not there. You know, Seattle show, not a lot of East Coast vendors. There were some cool East Coast vendors that we met. On Sunday, these guys, I'll kind of talk about this a little bit more too, but when we get to Sunday. So I got the PSA 1 Zard. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I sold some cards to a guy that I had that I wanted to get rid of. Just things like that. Normal card show stuff all day Saturday. We grabbed some lunch for like 20 minutes, and then we were back at it, and we kept going. If you guys are ever at a convention that Jar Chomp is vending at, bring him some Coke Zeros. Don't bring him Coca-Cola. Bring him a Coke Zero. You know, it's just one of those things you do. If you know somebody likes something, they're sitting behind the vendor table all day long, you know, hook them up. It's like bringing candy for your flight attendants when you're on a plane. It's like, just do it. Did that. Hung out with Jar Chomp again. Bunch of tables, just hung out talking with these guys from all over the country. People from Northern California, people from San Diego, people from, you know, Dallas or Utah, or, you know, all over the place. Great time. And it's cool, like, getting to know people, and then, like, you go to the next one, and they're there, and it's like, you're gonna go hang out with them. You know, I had that conversation with a bunch of people that are coming to front row. What can we get you? What do you need when you're at front row? Have you ever had this place for food? What are you gonna do while you're out in Phoenix? Hang out with some people when they come into town, that kind of a thing. Make some good connections in that regard. So I know there's probably some questions. Did you make good connections? Yeah, and I'll get into that a little bit here, because after we finished up, Central was gonna go out to a bar, watch UFC fights. McWizard and I were gonna go to dinner with Dan, Catchball Collectibles, and some of these other people who run like Cardinal Gaming. If you guys know who Old School Pokemon is on YouTube, He streams on eBay Live, so we hung out with him and a couple of his streamers. We hung out with Ray from Shining Cards Collectibles, I think, on Whatnot. They run a huge Whatnot operation, so we went out to dinner. They couldn't sit everybody, and we were the newbies, so we went and sat at the table with some of the other people who were kind of new, and had a great time talking with a whole bunch of people about their experiences, where they like to buy cards during live streams, why they buy cards during live streams. Talked with Thrifty, who streams on eBay Live for old school Pokemon. Thrifty was awesome. She was drinking a Diet Coke and White Claw, which is something that I've never heard of before, and I'm certainly going to try. She was just an absolute hoot. It was great talking with her about a whole bunch of stuff. And then they were like, hey, who are you? Like, they were like, why are you here? We don't know you. Who are you? And I got to kind of like talk through what we do, what McWizard and I do, what's been going on with the channel. I got some subs from some people that are, it's hilarious that they sub to me, because what are they doing? You know, these are people that have been in the Pokemon game for 10, 15 years, and they're, you know, oh, let me follow you on YouTube. I've seen you in my comments. Yeah, okay, I recognize the name, that kind of a thing. Have dinner, get out of there, and it's like, what are we doing? Everyone's like, we're going to the hotel bar. And so we go to the hotel bar, and this was, Collecticon is, Collecticon, Card Party's big. These Collecticons, these conventions, they're big. The concentration of people, like when you see a video, if you guys know, like Bulbasaur, so Dylan with Bulbasaur, you know, like someone will come by his table and you'll be like, oh, it's YouTuber versus YouTuber on this coin flip, and they're negotiating or whatever it is. That's like an in the moment kind of a thing. When you're at the convention, though, everybody's so spread out. It's not the same situation. We walk into this hotel bar, and it's a nice hotel that we're staying at. So the bar's kind of big, and, you know, it's nice, but it's like half restaurant, half bar, but it's all one lane. And you walk in, and it was literally like, there's Pokevault, there's Goated Pulls, here comes Jake from Jarchomp, you know, there goes Dan from Catch 'em All Collectibles. I'm standing there talking to a guy who I don't know his name, and he's telling me that his organization on Whatnot sells 1,700 slabs a day on Whatnot, and I'm like, are they all $10 slabs? Because that sounds like a lot of money still, even if they're only $10 slabs. And he was like, no, many more dollars than $10, and we're selling $1,700 a day. They're talking about how they employ people that are gonna pre-grade cards for them 8 hours a day. And so we get in line for drinks, and there's a guy who's like, Dan, I'm buying your drink. And Dan's like, I was gonna buy drinks for all these people behind me, and he's like, me too. And so we like all get our drinks paid for by, I didn't even see who it was because the bar is so crowded. And it's not like we're at a bar. We're literally in the hotel. It's not like we're at a club or something. I did not meet Pokevault. It was one of those things where you could just tell, right? And I was like this in general. Like, I didn't go out of my way to be like, I gotta go find this person to talk to them. I didn't want to like, that's not exactly the situation that I was like pursuing, I guess, to a certain extent with some creators. Some creators I had like a standing with already. So I was like, hey, I want to introduce myself. I'm this person, that kind of a thing. But like Vault, like, dude, these guys, it makes sense why CTR and PokeRev don't go to these. It makes sense why, like, Leonhardt isn't at these all the time. Like, Coop, bro, I bet that guy has a broken hand. I bet he took so many photos that his face hurts. Like, it is unbelievable that we're in this bar and there's, like, normal people, and every Pokevault is getting wrecked. Everybody's like, Vault, oh, can I get a photo? Dude, whoa. And it's like, meanwhile, Go to Pulls is like, yo, like, Vault, I gotta ask you about this card, or have you ever seen this? And Vault's like, don't talk to me about Pokemon, man. Like, I overheard that, so I was like, all right. I'm not gonna go out of my way to do all this stuff. If it happens naturally, it happens naturally. But I was really excited to sit down because Dan, and I don't know if Dan's gonna watch this, but Dan from Catch 'em All Collectibles, he said, I'm flying out to Buffalo. I'm flying out at I think his flight was at like 6:30, 7 a.m., something like that. Whatever it was, he was like, I'm not going to bed. So I'm going to sit in this bar and I'm going to drink until I have to, go pack and leave. And my wife's going to drive us to the airport. We got to return our car. He's like, I'm just going to stay awake all night. And so he was like, if anybody wants to hang out and talk, we're gonna be doing the thing. And I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm gonna be a sponge of as much knowledge as I can be. Like, that was my main goal for the weekend. Get as much experience in all the different facets of, like, being a business person, being a collector, being someone who knows how to deal with vendors, and, like, but also the behind the scenes stuff. Like, I want to know what Dan's doing over on Fanatics. I want to understand how he's doing his mystery products. I want to understand how he's able to buy, X amount of packs per week with the confidence that he does. And so we all sat down, and from like 10, 11, like 11 p.m. until I think I went to bed at 4 in the morning Saturday night. I sat there for 5 hours with some absolute killers in the Pokemon world. People who make money that you couldn't imagine in this hobby that also enjoy the hobby. Like, these are not people who are, like, making tons of money because they run a garbage company and they're like, I don't really care about garbage at all, but, like, I do it, it prints money for me. These are people who care about Pokemon and just had an absolute blast talking with them, talking about why they're on Whatnot, why they're on, eBay Live, why they're on Fanatics, why they run their own website, why they don't use any website and they only use eBay or consignment services. And, like, I just nerded out. Like spreadsheet Zorner, I was full-blown, like, tell me every single thing that you are willing to tell me about everything. A whole bunch of conversations about stuff that just, like blew my mind, but also makes so much sense. And, like, so much of it was, like the confidence level from these people and, like, the, hey, if I'm wrong, what's the worst thing that happens? But if I'm right, look at the upside. And so, like, I was just like, dude, and everybody was so nice. Like, Johto Jake especially, that's not someone that I've ever interacted with. The nicest dude, like, immediately was like, hey man, what's your name? And I'm like, well, you're Johto Jake, my name's Mike. And he's like, what's your YouTube, Mike? Like, you gotta have one. And I was like, it's Zorner Cards. He's like, Zorner. I was like, don't even, like, I know you don't know who I am. And he was like, but what if the name sounds familiar? I was like, it doesn't. And he was like, let me get to you. So he subbed me on YouTube and we're, like, talking. I was like, I really appreciate the content you put out, because he does, like, long form, like, YouTube content, or like podcast style YouTube content about Pokemon. And I just recently got introduced to him, like, from a viewership standpoint. So then meeting him in person, and he was like, oh, you're from Phoenix. Like, dude, you're talking about, he's like, well, I just went to Sedona. And I was like, weird place, right? And he's like, it was kind of weird. I didn't know that it was going to be weird. It's like, obviously, it's, like, a beautiful place, but Sedona's got its own weird quirks. And just had, like, great conversations with all these people. And maybe I'll make some more videos, like, specifically talking about some of this stuff. But, like, that was, like Saturday night, like, I was in, like, focused. Meanwhile, I'm also going up to our hotel room to get the beers that we got the night before that we didn't drink in the lobby at, like, 1:30 in the morning because the bar closed. So, like, you know, I knew Sunday was going to be a struggle, but it was worth it. And I told McWizard this, I told my wife this, all the money that I spent this weekend, every card that I got could grade a 1 or a 2 or a 3, or could get lost in the mail. Every sealed thing that I bought, I could have gotten confiscated by TSA. Every meal that I had could have been the worst meal I've ever had. The hotel could have had squeaky beds and no air conditioning. The flights could have been bumpy or delayed. All of the money that I spent this weekend was worth the 6 hours sitting in that hotel bar, being a sponge. Whatever amount of money I spent this weekend, or the business spent this weekend, which is what it really was, to bring McWizard with me, to do all the things that we did, all of that money was worth the 6 hours, because it will be more valuable, the information that I gleaned in those 6 hours in that lobby, tenfold, hundredfold, unbelievable amounts of knowledge and, like, just general confidence of these people who are like, this is, like, we're in now. Like, people that were like, yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years, I've been doing this for 10 years. If this feels different, and it really did. And, like, I think that's one of the key vibes. And I watched the Earns video today. I was trying not to watch anybody's content before talking to you guys about this, because I just wanted to give my raw opinions. But I'm so aligned with Ern that I'm kind of glad that I watched his video. But he just talked about how, like, as a collector, this was, like, the most fun convention he's ever been to. And this is someone who's been in the hobby for, you know, 6-7 years. There were just a lot of people who were there to enjoy. It wasn't like, we're here for business, we're here to make money, we're here to, like, you know, be here and then get on our way. There were a lot of people who were there to have a good time, man. And we had a good time. Saturday night, I talked to some people, and they're not YouTube people, so I'll kind of protect their anonymity, I guess is the best way of saying that. But, like, had some really good conversations with some people, and Dan talks about this on his stream all the time. You'll never know these people's names. They're making 6 figures easy just by doing Pokemon grading, vending, flipping, you know, selling cards, making plays on big amounts of burger chews, whatever it is. And got some really cool information and made some really cool connections with that kind of stuff. Just incredibly grateful. Like, I can't express that enough. I don't know how many, you know, whoever's still watching at this point, I appreciate it. But, like, well, I'll get to some questions here in a second. So if you guys want to drop questions now, it would be a good time. If I haven't covered anything, because I'll talk a little bit about Sunday, but there wasn't too much that happened on Sunday beyond any of this. But, like, yeah, so if you have any questions about, it doesn't have to be about Card Party, but really questions about anything at all, happy to answer them. But, like, just so incredibly grateful. Well, I mean, first off, to Pat, DPM, to put on a convention like that, because he's just, like, a dude. It's not like he's, like, some big organization that, like, does this all over the country. And this was the first one on the West Coast, and, like, it was just, it just felt so clean, like, across the board. But, like, incredibly thankful to all the people that were, like, super, super nice for no reason other than just they want to talk Pokemon. They want to talk Pokemon business. They want to show the cards that they got. Ern was handing McWizard and I his gold cards from Mega. Like, these are like $700, $800 cards. And he's like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Look at this. Isn't this entering perfect on that? Like, everybody was just there to have a good time. And, like, so many vendors where I'm like, if I see them again, I'm going to have a story to talk to them about. Just an absolute blast. And then, like, so grateful to be able to do something like that. Like, you know, Mrs. Zorner is home all weekend taking care of the house and, like, taking care of herself. You know, we just hit the halfway point in the pregnancy 2 weeks ago, and, like, you know, she's tired. And I got to go away for 4 days to go to a Pokemon convention that wasn't like a money-making operation. It was pure pleasure. Sure, maybe there's some business. I got some cards and, like, you know, the connections and all that kind of stuff, but, like, just had an absolute blast. And the main takeaway from all of that is, like, go to these, dude. Like, go to these conventions. You don't have to be like, I'm here to make money, I'm here to find this one card. Like, if it's $15 to get into one of these, if it's a front row card show, or even if it's your local trade show, the pack prices might not be the best. The place, you know, might be crowded. Whatever it is, you have to interact with this hobby in person, man. I get that I'm a digital platform, that I sell on an e-commerce store, and that we do rip and ships, you know, thousands of miles away from some of you. Take your Saturday and go to a local show. Even if you don't have anything, like Raymond went to his first show and he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Just go. Like, I took McWizard. The first time McWizard was, like, back into the hobby was because he went to a show with me. And I was like, bro, buy that card. Like, you won't regret. Just go. And, like, this kind of stuff is important. And if you're in a place where you get to do it, go do it. Even if you're not there to buy cards. Like, there's people handing out free stickers. There's people that are making 3D printed little, like, you know, card holders or, you know, stuffed animals, or they're making like slab holders, and like people had like jade figurines at this thing that they like hand carved. Like some of it was so crazy. And there's just so many different ways. Like I'll never stop saying this, but like there's no wrong way to enjoy Pokemon. If you like getting PSA 9s, go get your PSA 9s. If you like making a binder of stuff, make a binder. Go talk to somebody. You're going to learn something that you didn't know about Pokemon. You might be able to teach somebody they didn't know. So like all of that stuff is just like, it's so important to like go experience what the hobby is. Especially, I really encourage, if you guys are new, if you've only ever bought from online stores and you get your cards in the mail, you get your packs in the mail, like go to these shows, dude. People were there ripping packs. Like we ripped packs. Like I bought 2 booster boxes and we just ripped them. Like just cuz. So the last thing, Saturday or Sunday was like the same thing. You know, we went around and we did the thing. And I made the biggest deal I've ever made. You know, I made like a $3,000 deal where I traded in $3,000 worth of cards for $3,000 worth of trade. This is what it is from Central. Saturday night. I have a picture of this. This is the lobby of the hotel at 1 in the morning. This is, and like the pictures are not going to do it justice, but there was literally like 100 people in this lobby, and they're like regular people, and then there's like goated poles hanging out, and there's like people are just cases of Inferno X just ripping it in the lobby, hanging out. Sunday night, and Central will tell you this because he did it a bit more, like DPM showed up in the lobby and was ripping packs with people. Like everyone was just there to have fun, and like it was just so good. Like, it's just such a fun, like, I'm so blessed that this is even something, like, I went into this weekend being like, oh boy, don't give me more confidence in what I'm doing already, because I might just quit my job tomorrow. I might not go back to work on Tuesday. And I went, and dude, yeah, Ash Ketchum was there. Like, it was just like, it was just one of those things that, like, how fun is this, man? Like, I get that we're in tough times, and it's like, dude, I wish packs cost $4, and I wish that booster boxes were $180, and I wish the shelves were full. But, like, frankly, those times, it's just not, it's not as popular. And it might be going forward. We might not ever go back to what it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where, you know, conventions were not that big, and there was all this other stuff, but, like, dude, like, just fun, man. And so, like, Saturday night was crazy. Some of the stuff people were doing. I will talk more about some of that stuff if you guys have questions about it. But you guys asked some stuff, so I'm going to scroll up. Yeah, there was trade nights. Usually these conventions always have trade nights for, like, 2 or 3 hours. If it's, like, Front Row Card Show comes to Phoenix, Friday or Saturday they'll do a show. Saturday night they do a trade night for, like, 3 hours. And then Sunday they do a show. So, this had a trade night for Friday and Saturday. I don't know if there was one for Sunday, but Friday and Saturday there was a trade night. And the difference between like a trade night and the general convention floor is at the convention floor you have to pay for your booth. And then everyone's paying to get in. And so that's kind of like, you know, it's a business transaction kind of a thing in that regard. The trade night, you sit down at a table and you open up your binder, and then people are just like, yo, you want to trade? What do you got? And they like flip through your binder, and you flip through theirs, and then you're like, hey, I have this. Oh, I have that. And it's like less about the money, kind of. It still is, because like I know Ern went to trade night and was like flipping through binders and grabbing gold cards from people and like buying Charizard from Inferno X, the SAR. Like, people were going nuts with some of this stuff at trade night, but trade nights, you know, they're just a different layer of it. But it's what you would expect, and it's like, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. Always trying to improve. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, Central is, and so like, okay, I'll before I get to whatever the next question is, I want to key in on this. So first off, Central's a true homie for a lot of reasons, but mainly like this dude went to Card Party because the Hollow Hunters were going to Card Party, and then the Hollow Hunters couldn't go, and Central was still down for the cause. Like he spent as much time with us as he could. As he could tolerate of us, and McWizard and I, and like he had his own stuff that he was doing. I mean, he went to the Seahawks Bucks game, which was like one of the best football games of the weekend, and then he went to the Mariners game after, which was their first home win in 24 years. Like, I'm sure Central had a great weekend in general, but like, so fun to meet someone who like wasn't my viewer like a month ago, and we hung out the whole weekend, bumming around like. He sold me some stuff so that I could try and buy him something. Like, it was just like, I don't know, man. So fun to meet him and like, obviously like meeting other people, like running into Nori at Front Row Card Show here in Phoenix. And like, I just want that to be a thing. Like, I want it to be a thing. If I end up going to whatever it is and it's in your town, or if it's, you know, in between and you end up going there too, like, you know. But this I really appreciate. You know, everyone should be a nice person. Like, it's just like that, man. And Central, dude, it was so good meeting Central. And like, yeah, just a blast. Yeah, even the little ones, how much you should have bring or what cards should be. So it's you could do whatever you want, Austin. You could do whatever you want. A lot of these guys, they take PayPal, they take Venmo, they take Zelle. You don't have to bring cash. A lot of these guys, they're willing to trade. It just depends on your card show, and like, you know, I wouldn't be too concerned about overstepping or understepping, and you can't get it wrong. Like, you don't bring enough money, like whatever, dude. Like, it's not the end of the world. And people will make deals with you outside of it as well, especially if it's a local one. So, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Vending was awesome, and yeah, I mean, we just had a good time, and like, there's so many things that we didn't get to do too. Like, they had like a whole bunch of like creators events and stuff where it was like you could go to like a YouTube like conversation where like DPM and a whole bunch of other people were talking too about like yeah, you know, how do YouTube. Like, Alex Ketchum was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and like, that's kind of the way that it is. Like, you know, people are very interested in learning, and Pat puts on a really good opportunity for that stuff. That's just like awesome. Like, there were like roundtables where it's just like people talking about their experiences and what they do and how they get to like. Yeah, it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that we didn't get to do even because we were doing other stuff because there was a lot to do. Selling art, yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff. People were doing custom cards. They were doing little figurines or like 3D printed stuff. People had like paintings. Yeah, there was a lot of other stuff too. Jewelry. It was sick. There was a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, bro, I knew that it was going to be a long weekend. Had to go into that. Yeah. Prices are, you know, listen, it's you get to see the card. So sometimes the card's going to cost more than low list on TCG Player. There's a value in that. Vendors, if you go up to a vendor table and they don't have a banner, they're just a guy there, they might have better prices than someone who's got a YouTube channel and they're filming and they're, you know, they know they're going to have a long line. So their prices are a little bit higher to make up for the fact they're not going to be able to go through as much customer interactions. There's some people there who are only going to sell things that are PSA 10s. There's some people there who are only selling raw cards. There's some people there who are only selling cards that are worth more than $1,000. Like, it was sick. You see yourself doing any more trialing card shows in the future? Not yet. So, like, vending at them. I don't know if I'll be vending. Like, I had way too good of a time not vending. Like, I maybe I'll get a table and, like, set up for a day and just, like, buy or sell some stuff, maybe.
But, like, I don't want to be limited. I don't want to be anchored. I had way too much fun doing whatever I wanted the whole weekend. I get to go wherever I wanted. I didn't have to worry about my inventory at the table. I didn't have to worry about, like, I got to do whatever I wanted. So that was just a lot of fun. To do that, and like it depends on who goes too. Like I'm not gonna go to Cleveland Collecticon if I don't know anyone else that's going. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Seattle next year if I don't know a lot of people that are going. I might. But they have San Diego Collecticon in May. Now that's gonna be like a few months after little baby Zorner is born, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but maybe we do. Maybe we make a family weekend out of it, and we go out there and go to the San Diego card party that they just announced this year, or is the next one. So there's 3 card parties next year, but that one is in May, which is soon. And it's a 3-day weekend, so like, why not? It is tough. Like, that's one thing I will talk about, though. It is tough to know that I do not have the ability to stream in the same way that I would if I was at home. But like, that's also okay. Like, last week was hectic. Like, truth be told, I didn't get all the packages out Thursday. Mrs. Zorner had to go drop some off Friday for me because I couldn't get everything out in time. We sent out 68 packages on Thursday and Friday last week because of 5 streams of Rip and Ship. That's bananas for me, for one person. McWizard came over and helped me out, but like, we're at a point where it's like, I gotta start having some real serious business conversations with that kind of stuff. And like, I'll tell you guys, in 2 weeks, I think we're doing McWizard's bachelorette combined party where we're doing a weekend away with like all of the homies. Like, all the friends are going up. We're gonna be out of town. But like, should I bring up 30 slabs and do a slab night that we pre-sell all 30 slabs and then we just rip the 30 slabs and hang out, and like, we'll have the boys there and we'll have the ladies there and people can hang out on stream if they want, and I'll set up a little, camera and microphone or whatever it is, and we just do an hour and a half live there while we're there. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, and so it's hard to also tie that in with like traveling, because I didn't stream Friday and Saturday night, and those are 2 revenue days for me, where it's like, I gotta pay some people some money, some stuff, So it's just one of those things that's like, those are all considerations that I have to take into account. Now, I went and I bought a whole bunch of stuff that I should be able to profit on, so it's not like it's gonna be the end of the world because I took 2 streams off. But that's just kind of the way that it is. So it's tough. It's a tough decision to not vend when it's like, if I go and vend, then I'm making money. And maybe I do that one of the days kind of a thing, but maybe not. Do Rip and Ship in a card shop. Yeah, like, that's the thing. So like, eBay Live was there, and they had streamers ripping at Card Party on eBay Live. Old School Pokemon was doing that on one of the days. So like, he ripped live at Card Party. That's pretty cool. No, Dan is one of the tallest people I've ever met. Catch 'em all collectibles, not intimidated by me in the slightest. Is there anything about this weekend you would have done differently? Oh my god, I've been playing... Dude, I'm gonna get DMCA'd on this video so hard. I gotta fix that. Anything I would have done differently? I don't think so. I think I would have been more aggressive in like finding the people that I wanted to find Friday night. I only missed out on like an hour and a half, and it all worked out Saturday, but like Friday, I wish I had like looked around for some people longer at the end of the night, or like Sunday, I was wiped. McWizard and I did like way too much walking around, and then like we're just ready to be like done. But then like, Central ended up hanging out at the hotel, but I was like in bed. Anyway, so it was just one of those things where I think like, I don't know. I don't think I would have done anything differently.
maybe I wouldn't have bought that Gold Star Zard and then had to do a bunch of other stuff after. But it kind of forced me into like making a $2,000 trade, which is like kind of weird to say. Because I bought it and then I was like, I don't want this. And so then I had to get rid of it, and I didn't want to lose money getting rid of it. So I had to like trade it for things. So that's all the stuff that I showed at the beginning of the stream. That's why I have that. Who is your favorite you met? Honestly, like Central. I think if you guys know who Central is, he's an artist called New Variable on Spotify, !Central. One of my favorite people to meet. I think that's all that I like have off the top of my head as far as like who I met. I just every creator that I named that I met, I've dropped the links in here, but like Jodo Jake, Earn Collects, like Jar Chomp collect, so friendly. Swan's Emporium, so friendly. Yeah, if you're watching this back later or anything like that, and it's on the replay, leave a comment. I'll reply to you guys in the comment if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Swanza has come to Phoenix before. Yeah, no, I met him once in Phoenix, I think, but we hung out with him a lot this weekend. He's gonna be back for Card Party, or for not Card Party, for Front Row Card Show in December here in Phoenix. Trouble T, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. But yeah, leave a comment on the video if you guys have any questions or anything like that. After the fact, I will reply to people in the comments or come into the streams and ask any questions if you guys have anything. But yeah, that's pretty much the deal. Card Party, highly recommend. If you live in Florida, go to the one in Florida. If you live in Texas, like I might go to the Dallas one. It's just good, man. It's just good. It's worth going to. It's worth it. It's just a good time. All this kind of stuff is just a good time. Yeah, man, just a good time in general. I can't say anything else about how good it was other than, you know, all the things that I already said throughout the run here. So, essentially, I want to reiterate everything he's already saying about other streamers and their kindness. Yeah, but dude, Central was like, bro, hanging out with Alex Ketchum, hanging out with Jay Poke. I can't remember what that guy's name was. I didn't meet him, but you're hanging out with him. You got a photo with DPM at the end of the night. Like, dude, people were ripping some insane stuff. Like, it was an absolute blast, man. And I think that like, just such a good time. And like, that's funny. That's cool, Oreo. Yeah. Yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool. That's all that it is. And of course, everyone's nice. And it was a good time. So I am gonna wrap the stream here. We will be back tomorrow. I'll keep everyone updated through email and by posting in the Discord. It's so good to be back, dude. I'm going to have energy for tomorrow's stream. We did a good job today. I made it. I am feeling myself absolutely wearing down. So incredibly thankful for everyone watching, for everyone that supports. It's just, yeah, the support is insane. Let's call it there, folks. I will message you guys later. Thanks. Adios.